Yes.
Okay, you're listening to Breath Play Happy Hour. Our intention is for you to learn and practice how the breath can guide you to wake up, let go, and shift your success and happiness in life, love, business, sports, and beyond. I'm your host, Roberto Suarez, better known as El Happy Coach. So let's take a couple deep breaths before we start, and then we can relax and transform our day today with our special guest. So let's take a couple breaths, right? So let's inhale through the nose, inhale, exhale, inhale through the nose, exhale through the mouth. One more, inhale, exhale. So here we go. Today I have as a guest RahQuel Star Achiaviatta. She's the director of the Energy of Breath School, founded in New York City in 2006, right? And she was my first committed breath master to go to Cuba with me a couple years ago. She's the first one that said yes, and I love her for that. She's also a worldwide teacher and facilitator of her signature CATALYZE, DMT, Next Level Dance, and Gamma Breathwork, and Gamma Reiki trainings. RahQuel is adept at creating synergistic, powerful techniques to forward planetary consciousness. She brings groups to work with the Secoya Elder Shamans in the Peninsula of Costa Rica every year, and facilitates her original CATALYZE DMT Next Level Dance and DJ Quetzal star sets at global festivals, Burning Man, and regional Burning Man events, massive worldwide meditations, symposiums, private and corporate large-scale gatherings, initiations at sacred sites, and much more. And do you want to add anything else, RahQuel? And she is awesome. Like her energy, her knowledge, her power with the breath is totally incredible. And I'm so glad you're here today.
Oh my goodness. Thank you so much, Roberto. I love this since the moment that I had the chance to connect with you and to collaborate to go to Cuba. It's been the most amazing experience of breath work and participation and epic experiences with you, and so happy to continue this here today. And I think everything you described sums it up, and I'm just honored and happy that you're sharing breath play and to be here and to share what I can share about breath work. This is awesome.
Okay, let's get going. So, can you describe like breath, like the gamma breath or breath work? How would you describe it or
Yes,
define it?
sure. So first I'll say I've been working with breathwork for 20 years, and at about a decade ago I discovered gamma breathwork, so I'll describe about that first.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Gamma is a brain state that we can get into of a frequency of 40 hertz, through the brain or higher, or it can be exponentially higher levels of gamma. And one of the quickest accesses to getting into the gamma state is with these breath techniques that I work with that were created by Corey Herder. These breaths are unique in that we go through these sequences about a minute each, where we're doing breaths that are in the nose or out the mouth, or in mouth, out nose. It's a combination that's very specific that creates navigating through brain waves and stimulating a boost in their frequency, and then this breakthrough state into gamma. When we're in gamma, we have functions that are higher. We can come up with new solutions to situations. We feel connected to our higher self, and we're tapped into source. Our pineal gland is being activated by doing these breaths, and also a micro release of dimethyltryptamine, which is known as DMT, or the spirit molecule. And people may have heard of DMT as something to experience with shamanic medicines and journeys. And the thing is, we can create this substance on our own with our breath. So that's why I'm so fascinated with gamma breath work specifically. Also because it's applicable to online platforms, and it can be done in really large groups or individually. And it has the effect of supporting the person to hold their own space for themselves as they breathe, and to be able to calibrate their day, and also to be able to do the breath sequences themselves anywhere they go. And it's our birthright to be in the gamma state. And that said, most people, I would say, on the planet have not had the blessing of experiencing gamma due to the cultural conditioning and lifestyle of stress and survival mode. That is not a gamma state. So when we learn about gamma breath work and we work with these breaths, we learn how to boost our frequency into a thriving state. So there's more I could describe, but I'll just start.
Oh, right. It's like
Yeah.
that's sort of awesome. It's and gamma and the gamma state. How many states are there before you get to gamma?
Yes, so we have several different brain waves that are always
Okay.
functioning and cycling. So in brief, I'll just describe. So the beta brainwave is a frequency on the higher level of the scale of brain waves, let's say, which its main function has to do with communication about the body and the brain. So anything with physical function, whether it's respiratory or endocrine systems or muscles and skeleton and digestion and so on, mostly the beta brainwave has to do with this. Then we have theta. Theta is a brainwave in the next on the scale, a little lower, where it's about thought. It's mostly about how we form thought and perspective in the world and of our lives and how we see situations. And then we've got alpha, which is more about emotional processing and how we hold emotions in the body and also in our brain, like how we process emotion. Then we have delta, and that is the lowest brainwave scale, let's say. And in delta, it's about sleep regulation, regulation of rhythms in the body, also of being able to connect with oneself and others and being able to be relaxed, being able to laugh and feel connected. So I do want to also add this. There's a zeta brainwave, or also known as second beta, that Corey discovered in his research, and it's not so known. This one is higher than beta. This is a frequency to do with action. So for example, form follows function, and then once we are activating a new state of consciousness and taking on new skills or making new plans in our life, and we've gamified them with these gamma breath processes, then we have boosted our zeta brainwave also to where we're taking aligned action instead of being in a frozen or stuck or procrastinating state. So there's that brainwave too, to do with physical action, which doesn't necessarily mean something only like, but for athletes too, it's very important. So it's not just though about like going for a run, it's also about picking up the phone to make that important phone call kind of brainwave. And when we do a basic gamma breath, we're actually stimulating all those brain waves to boost them in their frequency and then create that breakthrough gamma state as I was describing. So we can actually gamify each of the brain waves so that we're physically as top-notch healthy as we can be, free of aches and pains or illness or any toxicity. We can boost our emotional state to one of balance and being able to regulate and to feel and be connected. We can boost our mental or theta state to where we're open and accessing of all perspectives versus stuck in one perspective, which can create separation. We can boost our regulation state to where we're well rested and sleep well, and we can relax and be present and connected. And then, yes, boost our action state. And this is all when we're in the gamma state, pretty much.
Wow. For everybody that's listening, you're getting a PhD in breathwork. That's unbelievable. You know, like that knowledge and your experience in being able. So, like, if you're an athlete, right, and you're trying to increase your performance, is there a particular breath that you would use to support, people, let's say runners or, I don't know, basketball players or football players, before a game?
Absolutely, absolutely. So here I'll share with you, and maybe towards the end we can do a basic gamma breath together, and then I'll make sure you have it written to be able to share with the podcast.
Yeah.
But yeah, even just the basic gamma breath, which we'll experience today, this short sequence can be used over and over in training, and I'll explain about my personal experience in a moment. And though to say that this basic gamma breath holds the codes for all kinds of processing, so it creates an evolution and an upgrade in any situation. But then if you want to get more deeply into it, for example, training gamma breath or experience your own personalized sessions, then there's many more sequences that are more complex to break down situations even more.
Mm.
Like, let's say, processing of charges to do with trauma or addiction, things like this, or for manifestation and taking action and developing skills. But when it comes to personal training, you could break it down like that if there's areas that are weak spots and processing them more specialized, or to boost and amplify on areas that are already strong and then to balance all of it. But again, if you just get to know the basic gamma breath, you could do that whole sequence with, let's say, if you're running, just go at the pace of your running as you do the breath. Or if you're doing certain reps and building strength in certain muscles, you can do that same gamma breath. It's building a gamma body, gamma muscles. And I can describe from personal experience. I used to be a professional ballerina. Nobody taught us how to breathe at all.
Yeah, absolutely.
Can you believe it? Like, I went through an entire ballerina career where somehow I learned how to manage my stamina and endurance on stage, and then sometimes run off stage at the end of a show like, oh, like this is so intense. But following my dance career and still going to dance classes for fun or just to keep in that structure, I started doing gamma breaths during some of that warm-ups and exercises. And then I noticed, wow, my gamma breath training these last years has boosted my finesse, my wisdom in my body, body intelligence, way of moving so that it's like streamlined and precise. So now post-dance career, I could say that if I wanted to go back to dancing in that way with this gamma training, I could definitely refine and go to an even better level. Now my focus is more broad, but that to say, I have worked with different athletes, and definitely doing gamma breaths has boosted their performance and their stamina and endurance, and also accessing areas that might be blind spots so they can improve and clear and get stronger however they want to.
And I guess if you, and I saw there on your website that you also deal with some corporate teams, or and you work with corporate people. How do you support them?
Yes. Yes, several different ways. So for example, like one company had to do with marketing. And so I would meet with the board members once a week for a few weeks, and the people in charge of designing the marketing types of tools for different companies and so on. So we would start with a gamma breath after grounding, little mini grounding meditation, and then set the intention for the meeting. What do we want to produce today? What is the result we'd like? So let's say, to hone just the most ideal marketing strategy for this. Okay, so then once we do this basic gamma breath, people start to come up with what do they have so far, and all of a sudden having access to a new solution or a new idea, and then writing that one down or adding it in. And then we'll do another breath to support the amplification of what's already being found out. Then once that breath happens, everybody tunes in and, what about this? What about this? And everybody gets into this gamma state together of synergy and downloading new ideas, like new codes for the business. So with one company, we were doing that. With another one for the team, like everybody working there, we would do a Friday afternoon after lunch little gamma meditation just to bring a place of peace, to process anything that's been happening during the week, to kind of clear or open up heart energy, to prepare for a time of relaxation and recharge over the weekend, or then just how do people want to communicate or connect more inside of their team. Then with one company that was creating a retreat center in New York, upstate New York, it was about, they wanted to come up with the most efficient design for all their buildings and different self-sufficient platforms. And by doing this one gamma session together with the directors, they were able to figure it out. It's like as if they could see it, they could actually see in their mind the design, and then they were able to draw it all out for all the different structures that were going to be there. So that was really impressive. So those are just some small examples how with the company, but with anyone, like I've worked with entrepreneurs who want to start a business, and just to help them get more clear, what is their purpose? What is their passion? What is most important for them to get started on first, just to help them break their plans and actions down into easy steps. And the thing is that getting into gamma brings about an energy boost and more processing power with which to create results.
Wow. And being more creative, I was a business coach. I dibble on business coaching some, so I'm just going to bring you in and make my job a lot easier.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
It's unbelievable. Because it just, I can imagine getting into that state, the alignment and being clear and just like all that creativity coming out. Oh my God, that's unbelievable. And also, from the performance stand, from, the athletes, using the breath and being able to have a breath that they can consciously breathe. Because what I find that people think that they're breathing and they use breathing exercise. Like I was coaching a professional basketball player, and before I started, I go, what happens when you miss like three-pointers in a row? Yeah. Right? What do? And I go, I breathe. And I go, how do you breathe? And he didn't know. He just goes, I just breathe. The coach tells me to breathe. You keep breathing. But right? And he goes, you keep missing? He goes, yeah, sometimes I miss 4 or 5 in a row, and then I finally hit it, and then I'm okay again, right? But it's being able to consciously get your attention and be able to release whatever it is at the moment, So I guess the breath supports you in doing that, And,
I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No.
Yes, no, just absolutely, especially to really understand the dynamics of breath, whichever breath practice that it is. Mm-hmm. And then to be very intentional and focused on how you're going to work with the breath is such a powerful tool. I'm excited because now it feels like it's the advent of people knowing it's like the next yoga, like the wave of breath. More and more all over the planet, people are understanding or starting to understand the power of our breath, which I'm sure that ancient civilizations must have known about. Maybe they launched off the planet, I don't know. But yes, for example, had I known gamma breath, but it wasn't even created yet when I was a ballerina, I would have looked at what are the errors I'm making in a certain technique or movement and process them with the breath, and then try it again. And as there's an improvement, do a breath that would amplify the improvement, and so on. Or like visualize a performance and do breaths for it. So it's been a dream for me to maybe work with a sports team, for example, and just what would it be like to have them gamify their meetings and their strategies and their game plan and breathe before a game and things like that.
I love that gamifying. That's great. That's absolutely great. Listen, you said that it's like the next yoga. In the breathwork world that I'm in, they call it the new yoga.
Right. Yes.
The new yoga, the next yoga, whatever. It's like the big yoga. So, talking about that, right? If you move forward, like let's say to year 2030, right? Where are you going to see this movement? How will you see your world?
Wow. Well, this is what I see. So. And this is just how I see it. Okay. So
okay.
I feel that we're entering, as humanity, there might be a split, but there's many, many people who are anchoring the grid and elevating in frequency to step into what I perceive as the 5th dimension, and that it's already occurring here on the planet. But there's just so many realities happening at once. People are going through the dark night of the soul right now. There's a lot of chaos, a lot of suffering. And I'd say like each of us as a soul has gone through these kinds of things at some point or another, whether it's this lifetime or another. Either way, those of us who have signed up at this time to elevate in the grid, let's say like you, Roberto, like me, people who are listening to the podcast, everyone who's like in personal development or having awakenings or just desiring to heal and clear. And plus collectively, it is happening. This is an activation going on massively all over the globe. And what I see is that we're all going to activate our higher level skills, which were probably clouded and blocked in some way. So with that, I mean, like many people already can, but do these, but like astral projection and ESP and travel to other dimensions and being able to do light energy and to activate our light body and elevate our DNA structures and possibly even access immortality, which may sound a little out there, but I do feel that the current laws that we're operating by are more from the 3D. And let's say it's all a simulation. And somehow we're stepping into completely new territory, or it's a timeline that's there, but has already been in the now, but we're like stepping into it. And then it's all new laws. So personally, I feel like I've been rejuvenating, and I feel like a part of this movement is gamma, and most definitely it's breath. Like even maybe part of this whole COVID thing going on, there's like a breakthrough or a transformation happening into where it's about having a breakthrough in our breath, like to open up and become these breathing vessels and all connect and synergize and tap in to this higher frequency. And I also see on the earth what I would call the new earth, where we're all in synergy with the planet, with nature, with the natural medicines from plants and animals, and how incredibly powerful they are, and how we can be nourished and mutually nourish in this way and collaborate and have these pods all over the world that are modern civilizations or communities that have new and interesting technology and different types of crystalline structures and things like this, and that we just operate in this area, in this space of love, peace, and harmony, and where everything's vibrant all around us. And I really see that. I've seen this image since maybe in my late teens. I could sense that's where we're headed, even though there's this whole other world that's falling apart right now. I would say let's all who can keep breathing, opening up our breath, elevating our frequency, our gamma quotient, our pineal gland awakening, opening, and just keep tapping into our gifts, because that's the other thing. We're each going to tap in very amazingly to our higher gifts and our teacher codes. And many people are channeling all kinds of new techniques right now on the planet and amazing talents with their art and creativity. So that's where I feel we're headed.
Wow, there's nothing else to say. That's so beautiful. That was awesome. Definitely, I get you totally. How, there's so much, there's a lot of light out there, of the, like you were saying about different people with their creativity, tapping into different healing, and through Zoom, it's even like, the pandemic has opened up a whole different world, of being able to bring all this technology out into the world, and people getting at least an initial exposure to it, which is great.
Absolutely, absolutely. That was my feeling when the whole quarantine first started too. I was like, wow, so many more people are logging on now and researching and wanting to connect with all these light teachings from all over the world. And even if there might be some fear about frequencies and technology and
Hmm.
radiation and so on, at the same time, we can convert this. We can convert this energy and become higher energetic to where we can shield, but then also use this web for the elevation, like you're saying. Absolutely, it's expanded so much.
And okay, great. So you were talking about that you were gonna give us maybe a breathing technique or a gamma technique that maybe the listeners can use a little bit or try it out. Can we do that or?
Yes, absolutely. So we'll start with the basic gamma breath. This breath sequence takes a minute and a half, so we can start with that, and then depending what you feel, Roberto, maybe we could throw in one more breath sequence, like a 2-minute one after that. We could see.
Okay, all right.
So, yes, and so this is the basic gamma breath, and you'll notice a shift by doing this breath, and just know that this is the opening of stepping into gamma, and that with just this one sequence you'll notice this shift. So you can imagine if you continue for 15 minutes with some breath sequences like this each day, like if you could repeat the gamma breath after you relax for, let's say, half a minute in between each one, as often as you like through the day, or as like a chunk of practice for 10 minutes a day, and you'll see amazing shifts in your life. But so anyhow, there's also these mudras that we can use with these breaths, or hand positions that create even more strong energy currents and stimulating more gamma. So if you have your hands free, you can place your palms together. And for this basic sequence, it's a mix of mouth and nose breaths. We're going to breathe 3 seconds to fully inhale, and then 3 seconds to fully exhale. And you want to feel like your entire body is the breath. It's like big, big, big breathing. Okay, so here we go. I'll guide the sequence as we go. In mouth, 3 seconds. Out mouth, 3 seconds. In mouth, still 3. Out nose. In nose. Out nose. In nose. Out mouth. In mouth. Out mouth. In mouth. Out nose. In nose. Out nose. In nose. Out mouth. One more set. In mouth. Out mouth. In mouth. Out nose. In nose. Out nose. In nose. Out mouth. And in mouth. And out mouth. Awesome. And now just relax your hands and drop in for a few moments. Breathing easy. And when you feel ready, you can just gently open your eyes, staying super tuned in to the state change that you're experiencing.
I'm in a happy state.
Yay. Well, it's inspiring me because I feel like you're radiating this joy. It's so authentic, like all the time.
That was awesome, Raquel. That was
Yeah.
awesome. Yeah.
Up to you. Do you feel like everyone would want to experience one more, or I don't know where we're at time wise?
Uh, we got about 3 more minutes or 5 more minutes. We can go. We can keep going.
Up, up to you.
but let's do one more. So
Okay. Okay.
yeah.
Awesome. So this one is the amplification breath. Let's do this one because this way we can tune into specific states that we want to boost more of. Like, for example, I love you, Roberto, and I love the joy that you share and support others to access for themselves. So I'm going to tune into this space. I feel this space of joy, for example. And I can also hear a hammock rocking back and forth. I know my daughter's rocking in the hammock here where we are in Costa Rica. So this is bringing me this happy state right now, very much present. So I'm just giving this example just so then for each of you to tune in and see what's bringing you joy in this moment, or something you can connect to from any time that brings you joy. And just notice how that cellular memory starts to show up in your heart. Feel that joy. Tap into that space. Okay, and now we're going to amplify this state with this next gamma breath. It's a little different. So we place our hands together in this diamond shape, the diamond mudra, so all the fingertips touch. And as I guide, just tune in. It's going to be 5-second breaths, 3-second breaths, 1-second breaths. So just really pace so you can fill your lungs, your whole body with breath, really. And then to exhale fully. Okay, as you breathe, just focus on the breath, but still it's about amplifying this goodness that you're sensing. So in mouth, 3 seconds. In just a bit more. And a little more. And now hold. And we do out mouth 3 seconds. In mouth 3. Out mouth 5. In nose 5. Out nose 3. In nose 3. Out nose 1. In mouth 1. Out mouth 3. In mouth 3. In a little more. And more. And hold. Out nose 5. In mouth 5. Out nose 3. In nose 3. Out mouth 1. In nose 1. Out mouth 3. And in mouth 3. In more. And a bit more. And now hold your breath as long as you can, feeling this energy boost, gamma radiating everywhere, amplifying this positive state. And now you can exhale mouth. And last step is bringing this diamond shape up to your lips like it's a cup of gamma, which it is, and drink it with an inhale mouth. And then on the exhale, relax hands. Just drop in, breathing easy as the gamma spreads all through you and around you. Beautiful. And you may still be feeling sensations. Just take your time coming back and taking this energy into your day or night.
I miss you. It's like
Aw.
Cuba misses you. The world
Aw.
the world misses you here in oh my God.
Oh my goodness. I
So,
miss Cuba too. I hope we can go next year.
oh yeah, yeah, yeah. So let me so now that everybody's like I hope like all the listeners are like blissed out. But that was so great. So, how can people get hold of you? Or are you doing any events that people could go to, classes, maybe new books? I don't know. What, but I know the
Yeah.
pandemic, everything's kind of like in standstill. But
Yes, yes. So I do have my website, which is www.energyofbreathschool.com. On there, you'll find lots of information on Gamma, and there's a page where there's all kinds of audios that you can purchase, download guided Gamma meditations for every kind of topic possible. Then there's also my YouTube channel, The Energy of Breath School, and there's many free Gamma breath activation videos on there. Most of them are like 30 or 40 minutes long and on different topics, different types of healing, pineal activation, gratitude, manifestation, and so on. You can also reach me through Facebook, The Energy of Breath School. Um, and then, yeah, all my info's on there, emails, phone number, all those things. And then Instagram, Energy of Breath School. And yes, I did kind of go dormant with media promotions and things in the last months with COVID and then moving to Costa Rica. And I'm committed to start back up with launching some online classes and so on. So that'll be posted on media as we go. But if you wanted to work individually with me, definitely reach out and we could send something up. I do also offer 10-hour Gamma Breathwork practitioner trainings where you can learn how to guide these kinds of sessions and breath sequences yourself. As soon as I plan any more things, Roberto, you'll be the first to know.
yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah.
That was awesome. Like, uh, don't miss Raquel. You have to like practice with her. It's like it's a gift to be able to learn what she's doing, and not only learn, is to experience it. To experience the breath, and her techniques are so powerful. And so anyway, for more information, you can, check me out. Our Happy Coach. I'm going to be putting out, we also video this, so we're going to, put it out, in social media. And also I want to, what was like, what was the biggest takeaway, from our listeners? What was your biggest takeaway today? What was the gift that you got today? And, you can share with that in our Facebook pages or, in social media. And we welcome any feedback and suggestions on how we can make this podcast even more awesome for you. So remember, always breathe happy. You'll live happy. And a special thanks to Raquel for being here with us today. We love you, and we'll see you next time. And I'm sure we'll be in Cuba together, but I'll probably be in Costa Rica before that.
Yes, maybe we can do a Happy Coach Gamma Synergy retreat.
Absolutely. Yeah, we
And
could do that.
also
Yeah, yeah.
we can. I'm sure like all these amazing collaborations are brewing. And I just also want to say thank you to you so much, Roberto, and who you are in the world and the way you share breath. And I just love you and thank you for the opportunity to share with our listeners and your listeners. And here's to more goodness in the world.
Okay, so we're gonna cut this off. See you later. Namaste. Love everybody. Keep listening. Keep breathing. Ciao.
Ciao.
Okay, and let me put the recording off.